Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and to today's video, which is better late than never, because today's video is all about these bad boys. They are, or have been, the Marmite shoe of the last 3 years. It is indeed the Chanel dad sandals. Now, I say better late than never because I have been promising lots of you a video and a review on these for some time, and unfortunately I just haven't got round to it until now. In my defence, I did only get these last year, so I bought these in August 2020 last year, so I've needed to give myself a fair bit of time to test them so that I can give you guys, as I always do with my bag reviews, my thorough review and honest pros and cons. And then at the end I'm going to talk about some dupes, because there are lots and lots of affordable dupes out there at the moment for these Chanel dad sandals. Right, so I'm gonna start off with the pros, because that's how I like to do my reviews. So my first pro for these is comfort. Now, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I know for me personally, as I have got older, I have definitely favoured comfort over any other kind of element, to be honest with you. And before I'd even purchased them, I'd heard lots of other girls talking about them and saying how super comfortable they are, and that for me was essentially the biggest draw. So firstly, they have Velcro straps everywhere. Every strap on the sandal is Velcro. This one's Velcro, this one's Velcro, and most importantly, the back one is also Velcro. So the pro of this sort of design feature, if you will, is obviously comfort, because especially in summer, my feet do tend to swell in summer, and I know that that goes for a lot of people. And so having a shoe that is essentially adjustable is a really big bonus in the summer months, because it just means that you can adapt your shoe to change with the size of your foot. Now, along with the adjustable, the Velcro straps, comes the leather, which is incredibly soft. It's been butter soft since the day that I bought them, which leads me to breaking in, because I know that this is a very, very important factor of buying new shoes. These required, for me personally, and again it will differ from person to person because not everyone's feet are the same, but these for me required one, maybe two wears of breaking in before they just became super, super comfortable and had moulded to my feet. And I think it just took a little while for me to get used to adjusting the straps to sort of the right kind of tightness on my feet, if you will. And then the footbed, which is essentially all leather as well, but it's moulded. It has a little bit of support here, like where your toes go up and then sit in this little trough section at the bottom. The leather again is smooth and butter soft, and I just think for me personally, it's very much like a Birkenstock, aside from the fact that the footbed is leather, but it has that kind of sort of feel to it where it does feel like a footbed. It's very moulded, really comfortable, and I personally find that it has quite a bit of support because there's like a little lip, so your foot sits in a trough and it just feels nice and secure within the sandal. Right, that's comfort out of the way. My second pro is style. Again, this is definitely going to be one of those things that is down to personal preference. It might be a bit of a controversial pro depending on whether you like these or if you don't. I personally think they do have style, and not just because of these little Chanel logos. I just think, obviously at the moment, they are quite a trend shoe. For me personally, I think they're definitely going to be something that I'm going to wear and wear and wear for many years to come, regardless of if they're a trend or not, because I don't really buy things based on the fact that they are a trend. I can definitely admit that the oversaturation of these on Instagram definitely pulled me in, but I did my research on them before buying them because they are very expensive. I'll get to that in a minute. I did my research on them, and lots of people were saying that they were incredibly comfortable, and that for me was sort of the final draw in and the reason why I basically took the plunge to buy them. But in terms of styling them, I just think they are incredibly versatile. Now, this particular sandal comes in lots of different variations, lots of different fabrics, and they come in rubber, different colours, all that kind of jazz. But for me, this very specific style, so the black quilted leather with the black chain CC, very, very subtle, for me are very, very, very wearable. And I'm going to share with you guys some of my recent outfits on screen just to show you how they can sort of transform an outfit or how they look with various different outfits. For example, their chunkiness, I really enjoy that with slightly more feminine outfits. So with summer dresses, whether they be floaty or whether they be something like a sort of slinky slip skirt, I think that the chunkiness of these and the sort of masculine features of them just add a really nice contrast to those kind of outfits. And to be honest with you, I have worn these a lot and I have yet to find an outfit of mine anyway, an outfit that I've gone to wear that these do not look amazing with. And so that is why I have given them a thumbs up and why style comes in my pros. And now my last pro is longevity and the fact that they are incredibly well made, which when I get onto the price in a moment, you would expect them to be very well made. In fact, you'd expect them to be indestructible. I haven't had mine for a full year yet, but as I just mentioned, I have worn them a lot. I do find them incredibly sturdy, incredibly well made. And yeah, I just think, obviously I'm going to put them to the test. Hopefully in a few years' time, I can revisit this video and let you guys know how they fared. But yeah, I think they're incredible quality and made to last. Right, now on to the cons. The first very obvious con for me with these bad boys is the price. Now, I bought these in August 2020. The price of them was 1,000 of our English pounds. That's 1,000 pounds for these. Now, I know I'm saying that, and yet here I am, and I own them. This was a massive error on my part because I say that I did a lot of research when I bought these. But I did research on comfort and outfits and all that kind of stuff and sizing, which I'll get to again in a moment. But I decided that I wanted to buy them kind of as like a birthday treat to myself. I always buy myself a birthday bag. And actually last year I bought myself a birthday bag and birthday shoes. It was an expensive birthday. But basically I decided that I wanted them. I went into London and I just thought I would chance it because I knew that these were incredibly popular and very difficult to get your hands on. I had already looked at buying them secondhand, but this is a point I'm going to get to in a minute because it's another con. So I went into the Bond Street store and I walked in by chance. They had my size, tried them on, went straight to, I was going to say the till, you know what I mean, to the area where they sit you down and write all the stuff up. And I had not seen, because the one on display did not have the price sticker on the bottom, which is what they normally have, or sometimes they have them inside the shoe somewhere. It's a very small sticker as well. They're not too obvious with the pricing in Chanel. And I believe I'd seen that these were, I think, 800 or 900 pounds. I thought they were 800 in my head when they first came out. They first came out in 2018. I had completely neglected to remember the fact that Chanel hike their prices up. I think it's every season, but it could be every year. I'm not entirely certain on that, but they hike their prices up at least once every year. And I had forgotten that fact. So when I went to pay, the sales assistant said, "That's £1,000, please." And I was like, And of course I had to play it cool as a cucumber and I just handed over my card, but inside I was sweating and I was just thinking, £1,000. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to wear these until the day I die. In fact, I'm gonna have to be buried in these. £1,000 for a pair of sandals it's ridiculous. I know this. But it's Chanel and sometimes those two little CCs make you do crazy things. Now, the pricing scenario, the ridiculous pricing scenario, should I say, of these sandals also unfortunately stretches to the second-hand market. Because of the huge demand in these, there has very sadly been an increase in resellers buying them from boutiques whenever they come in and then reselling them at an inflated price on sites like Vestiaire. So as I do with most of my leather products, leather goods should I say, I always try and buy secondhand first. And I looked on Vestiaire and I even looked on eBay, which obviously is not always advisable, but I looked pretty much everywhere to find these secondhand, and they were all more expensive. Now, I obviously didn't know how much exactly they were, but they were selling for about £1,600 on Vestiaire, and I knew that that is not how much they were priced at, how much they retailed for in a Chanel boutique. I knew it definitely wouldn't be £1,600. And I have seen things like this before when a product goes viral and people start to sell it for way above the actual retail price. It causes a frenzy essentially. And this is actually one of my second cons, and it's availability. They are like unicorn poo to get hold of, this particular style. Of course, Chanel have seen the popularity of this style of dad sandal, and they have created lots of different colourways. There's raffia, there's denim, there's different leathers, there's velvet now, all different kinds. There's a full rubber version, which actually are considerably lower in price. And of course, there is a way that you could save yourself some money if you're travelling, which obviously we haven't been able to do much of in the last 16 to 18 months. If you're travelling and you're going from somewhere like Heathrow, Terminal 5 or Terminal 2, I think Terminal 2 might also have a Chanel boutique. Obviously, you could get that tax-free shopping. There's not been a lot of that recently, but that would be a tip from me if you wanted to save a little bit and you do want to have the actual Chanel ones. But availability wise, all I'm going to say to you guys is good luck and get yourselves into a boutique and make friends with a sales assistant. A lot of the time they'll give you a little their phone number and you can WhatsApp them and they will WhatsApp you and let you know when a delivery has come in, but get your name on the list if you do want them. That's the only way to get your hands on them, unless you want to go to a personal shopper. But just beware, as much as I love personal shoppers, you are obviously going to pay a more inflated price because they put on their finder's fee, sourcing fee on top. Now, in terms of like design flaws, I personally can't actually find any aside from one, which is the sole. Obviously, I've said to you guys that I really like the style of the shoes, so that for me is not a con, but there's no element, like there's nothing that rubs anywhere, there's nothing that I find any discomfort, there's no design element that I just don't like, aside from the sole, which is part leather, well, it's majority leather as you can see, and then a tiny little rubber bit on the heel, which actually is really good because that's the part that gets the most worn. The leather sole does not actually bother me, but it's just the fact that it is very, very smooth and very slippy to start off with. So it's the same for most luxury brands of shoes. So Gucci loafers are another one that I've spoken about quite a lot. They obviously have a leather sole, and for the first few wears they can be very slippy, especially if you're wearing them on a slippery surface like carpet, or if you're wearing them out in the rain, you can often find that you just go shooting off somewhere. So they do need the soles scuffing up a little bit before you wear them. But to give them a little bit more longevity, you could also, this is something I'm probably going to do maybe this year or next year, depending on how much wear I get out of these, but you can just have a very thin rubber sole put over the top, and that will just give you a little bit more sort of extra hard wearing sole. Right, now as promised, I said I was going to give you guys a little rundown of some dupes. So I've got my laptop here and I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that you can see the dupes that I've found, and I'm going to run through each of them. Now, I obviously haven't got any of them here to show you guys. These are just ones that I found online and also ones that a lot of you guys have fed back to me that you've bought and that you really like. So I'm going to start with the most expensive and then work my way backwards. Right, so first of all, there is a brand called Dupes London, and I know lots of you will already be familiar with this brand. They do some really, really good dupes of lots of the current sort of designer sandals, mainly being the Chanel dad sandals, and their particular style is called Sonia. They have two different kinds. So they have Sonia in Luxe, which as you can see here is £144. And then they have just normal Sonia, which is £135 and 20p. I've looked at both descriptions and I couldn't actually tell you the difference between the Luxe and the normal, but as you can see they are very, very, very similar to the Chanel style. They just don't have the CC logo on the two straps, but otherwise they're really, really good dupes. They've got them in a couple of different colours here, so they've got them in the nude and then they've also got a denim option, and in the normal Sonias they have them in a white as well. So that is the first kind of affordable option that I have. Moving on to number 2, and it's a brand called Aloha's, which is a really good brand that I have recently sort of stumbled across, mainly because of these dad sandal dupes, which they called the hook loop sandals. Aloha's is a brand which focuses on pre-ordering, so very similar to the Curated. It's a brand which you essentially sign up to pre-order an item so that they don't create excess stock. And they have a whole pricing system. If I just click on these, as you can see, these are €127.50, which works out to £112, I believe. So here, there's this little section on each product page, if you will, and it gives you the various prices and percentage discounts depending on what stage of the manufacturing process you order them at, which I think is really, really cool. So as you can see here, these are currently on pre-order and they start shipping in August, which I know might be a little bit late for some of you, but if you are thinking a little bit more consciously, you want to buy from a slightly more conscious brand, then this is a really good one. And again, they've got lots of different colours in these as well. I'm going to move on now to Dune. I believe Dune were actually the first high street brand to make a dupe of the Chanel dad sandals, and this was in early 2020, I believe. They have called theirs the Lockstock, and here you can see I have the style in black on screen. They have these gold little sort of twist locks, which are very Chanel in themselves. They are quite reminiscent of the twist locks that you get on Chanel bags. The leather looks beautiful and soft, and also, you know, a really good amount of padding on there as well. And they have such a plethora of styles. So they have obviously the classic black, and then they have this sort of beigey colour, and then they have denim. They have a leopard print as well, if that's your jam. Lots and lots of different options. With silver there as well. And I believe they also have some tweed styles if you wanted to go down that super, super Chanel route as well. And those are £110. And again, they are real leather. Going down the list again, we've got Tony Bianco, which is an Australian brand. You can buy them in the UK, but I'm just trying to give you guys ideas for lots of my audience who are in different places around the world. So theirs are called the Hirani, and again, lots of different colours here that they have. So if I just click on this one as an example, lots of different colourways and different fabrics. This one here is a creamy colour. They do have black as well, which again, got the quilted design, Velcro on all three straps, which is great. And then we've got a white and a denim there as well. They are essentially $160, which I believe, if we're translating that into pounds, is around about £87 to £88. And if we move on again to Steve Madden, which I'm sure a lot of you guys will know Steve Madden, these are actually not leather. leather, which is very much reflected in the price. So these are sort of ranging from $85, which is approximately 61 or 62 pounds depending on the exchange rate. And again, lots of different styles. These are very, very, very similar to the June style, but they have this little twist lock on them. And again, they have the tweed styles as well, which are really cool. Moving on again to our next price point, and it is Marks and Sparks. These are £39.50. They are again leather. They're not my favourite. I feel like they're lacking in some of the design issues, and actually these as well don't have excellent reviews. A lot of the reviews are saying that they don't have an they don't have an adjustable back. To me, that does look adjustable, but I think it's that they don't have, like on some of these other ones. Let's bring up the, yeah. So on here they have this kind of section here, which is the loop, which is what the Chanel ones have. So I think a lot of people are saying that they don't have the same amount of adjustability, but they're £39.50 and they are a very similar style in real leather, and Marks and Spencer shoes, I speak from experience, are very, very comfortable. Right, there we go. So that was my as thorough as I could be. I have assessed these sandals greatly over the last just under a year, and I have worn them and really thought about what I like and what I don't like. And yeah, I hope it was useful for you all, and thank you as always for watching, and I will see you guys next time.